Houston, Texas, and Queen Valley, Arizona. It is me. My name's Dave, and this right here is Steve Edwards. And we're a couple minutes late, but we are here by golly, and we are ready to talk mules and donkeys. I hope that you have had a fantastic day so far, and I hope that you're excited with us today about mules and donkeys. Like I said, I am in Houston, Texas right now. I'm traveling for work and came in on Tuesday, and I'm here till Friday. And I was high little. We'll take it. So we'd love to know
Yeah.
where you're watching from, what your name is, where you're watching from, and what the weather is like. That's the first thing. The second way this works is that you ask any and every mule question that you've got. So if you've got a mule question that you've been sitting on for a little while, we want to know. We want to answer that question for you. So go ahead and put that in the comments section, and we'll get that answered for you just as soon as we can. Any question at all. There's no dumb question. There is every question deserves to be answered, and there's probably somebody else wanting to know the answer to any question that you've got. So go ahead and answer that. And then the third thing that we ask is that you share the broadcast. And really, the way that you do that is on a YouTube. You click like on the video and you subscribe to the channel, and that lets YouTube know that this is worth watching, so they'll recommend it to other folks. And the way you do it on Facebook is by clicking the like button and then either sharing the video with the share button on Facebook or just tagging friends and family members in the comments section. What we'll do is we'll go through one by one and we'll say hello to the people who are joining us. So if that's you watching right now, we want to know that you're watching. We got Nancy and James here, and I'll say hello to them in a second. So go ahead and put that in, and we will get to all of your mule and donkey questions in this hour. So Steve, we've got Nancy watching from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we've got Jim. And I just have to say something about Jim, Steve. I know you're not on our YouTube channel checking out all of the comments as often as I am, but Mr. James Rhodes and actually Herschel Lindenberg, I think is his last name. James and Herschel go from video to just about every video we put up there and say hello, whether they're watching live or whether they're watching the replay. So I think Jim has just about popped in on every episode that we've done, at least in recent memory. So Jim, super grateful to have you here. He's watching from Western Maryland, 25 degrees and snowing. So that sounds like Christmas. Ron and Virginia are here again. They're watching from Berg Hill, Ohio. So we're glad that y'all are here today hanging out. We've got Beth. Hey, Beth. Beth Merritt is watching from North Carolina, central North Carolina, cold and out blanketing. Hey, Steve, you know what I did? I put a Queen Valley Mule Ranch ornament on my tree this year. I got a Queen Valley Mule
Oh,
Ranch
good.
ornament on my tree. Yeah, did you? Beth sent those to us, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a great ornament. We got that. I put mine on my tree. Hopefully, Steve will put his on his tree. We'll get some pictures and we'll put them out there. Okay, here we go.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Trying to find my questions.
Hey, Dave. We got a couple bridles we want to give away today.
We do. We do have bridles that we
Yeah.
want to give away. One quick question, Steve. I know we don't have we've had some folks emailing about bits, and we don't have any estimate on when bits are going to be back in stock, do we?
Actually, I was just talking to my bit maker just 10 minutes ago, and she says I'm going to have some bits in about within 10 days, and then I'll have some other bits within in about February.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. I'll make sure to let people know. The first question that I got for today, this one's from Kim. Steve, I recently purchased my first mule, a coming 4-year-old Molly. I want to do endurance with her, so want a light saddle. I was also wondering if I have to have a britchin, as I really would like to keep it as simple as possible. Can you advise me what to buy? Thanks, Kim. What would you say for Kim, Steve?
You bet. If you don't want a britchin', then ride a bicycle. Push a wheelbarrow. Here's the deal, folks. It's imperative you understand you're riding a mule. That mule has a donkey shoulder and all the bone structure. That mule, especially you're going to be riding in the mountains and doing endurance. Oh yeah. Look, folks, I don't care if it's flat ground or if it's hilly ground. And if you see any of my demonstrations or watch my videos on this stuff, you'll see within minutes, that saddle will go forward. Your front cinch is at an angle. Your back cinch is straight up and down. So that brings that saddle forward, just the front cinch alone. Not counting them being V-shaped, and that saddle is going to go forward. So I get a kick out of folks that say they're endurance riding. Well, they should ride with Randy and I sometime punching cows. We'll show you what endurance is like. Yeah, I ride the trail light saddle. I love it. 18 pounds. It's great for all kinds of riding.
Awesome. So, real quick question on that. Folks will want to ride with a crupper. Is it okay for them to ride with a crupper if they have to ride with something back there?
It is not okay. You know, if you don't care about your animal, then ride with a crupper. Don't ride with a britchin'. But if you care about your animal, folks, take care of it. You think about this. That tail is bone, and it attaches to what? The backbone with bone. Your britchin' is on muscle mass. It holds the saddle back. Your crupper was designed for 6 to 8 pounds to hold the harness back to keep the breeching from climbing up the hip. That's what it was, folks. So let's think about that. With the mules, the way they are built, you're going to have a problem, you know. And here's the deal. Here's what happens. I can tell you about 3 people in less than 6 months that had called me up. They ordered a saddle and they wanted a crupper ring. And I said, I'm not putting a crupper ring on any of my saddles. I won't sell you a saddle. It's not important for me to sell saddles, folks. It's not, you know. These saddles are like my kids. I design these things. I know how they work. I know how mules work. Folks that come from a horse world are the first ones that'll screw up these mules pretty easy by using horse thoughts. And I don't blame you. I understand thought, okay? But let's get this in your mind. Every one of those people called me up within a short time and said they had to put their mules down because they broke their back with a crupper. Well, how does that happen? Well, here's the tail hanging, all right? And the crupper is up against the top of the tail. Well, each one of them told me that when they sored their mule, which you will with a crupper, you'll put a heck of a blister on them. That they loosened up the breeching, the crupper, and now it pulls it up so that the crupper is pulling against the backbone and crack. That's what happens, folks. I've been around these animals all my life. If there was an easy way of it, I would have designed it to make my animals easier. But the way I've got it now works the best. Every one of you are riding too tight of a cinch. Every one of you are. Every time I see the cinches and stuff, I can see it. If you rode with Randy Figgins and I out there in the mountains, you'll see you can shove your arm through that thing. You've got to set the saddle right, ride the saddle out. Now, if we're going to rope something, different story. I'm going to tighten that cinch up. I'm going to tighten it up because he's pulling on it. But if you set the saddle correctly and ride off of your legs, your saddle will stay in place. Watch some of the videos I got. I got some videos of 2 gals from California. And you can see somebody else had helped them. They were mule people, okay, that helped them out. And both saddles were wrong. Completely put together on my saddle, put on there wrong. So, no, don't mess with the crupper. Use your breeching, ride your mule, and enjoy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the question. That was a great question. Next one that I've got, this one's an easy question I can answer, but I wanted to give you a chance to talk about it, Steve. Question is, can I install bucking rolls on the Cowboy Saddle? And this one comes from Linda. And so the answer is yes, you can. But for folks who don't know what bucking rolls are and why you might want to install them, would you talk about that real quick, Steve?
Okay, bucking rows were originally designed for the Wade slick fork saddle, a saddle that's shaped like this in the front. Okay, that's what it's shaped. Instead of having a modified association, which kind of looks like, well, looks like this. There we are. Looks like that. And then the horn comes up here in the middle. Okay. Now what we do on each side between the pommel and our legs. And then that helps keep us from moving, from going forward in the saddle, okay, and from going too far forward. With the new modified association trees, which is what we see on the majority of Western saddles now, including my Cowboy, the pommel's already there. The idea of that is to keep you into place. Now, what folks are worried about, the reason they're riding the bucking rows, is they're worried about falling out of the saddle. Well, welcome to the world of mules, equine. Yeah, can you get knocked out of the saddle? Oh, yeah. The majority of you are not setting in the saddle correctly. Now, I don't want to keep on getting harping on this, but listen to me. Your legs should be in the saddle with your knees slightly bent, heels down, toes up. Don't ride with a rubber padded stirrup. That'll make you stick in the saddle and could get you in a lot of trouble. Also, the reason I tell you on all your saddles that I don't send them to you pre-adjusted is because everybody rides different. And the other thing is this too. Like me, I had both my hips replaced. So I was riding in my saddles different. What you have to do is wet the saddle and ride. Wet the saddle and ride. You don't want to get too snug of a saddle. You get too snug of a saddle, you get hung up in there and you're up a creek. You want to be able to get out of that saddle when you got a chance. All right. That's really important. So I've got a lot of videos out on this. So maybe that helped you out.
Awesome. That was great. Thanks, Steve. Next question here. This one came in from one of our friends over on Facebook. She says, it was suggested that I reach out to you. I'm having saddle pad issues with my mule. Regardless of the tack used, wool, felt, or synthetic, wool slides on him. I'm using a tacky style pad and I just don't love it. I want to get away from them. I like natural materials, but something with this guy's hair texture is not allowing for the equipment to stay put. His daily saddle has been fitted to him. My treeless endurance saddle and even bareback saddle pad slide all around if I use wood or wool or felt. What would you have to say to our friend here, Steve?
Folks, this is the perfect example. I've cowboyed all my life. I've made my own pads. One of these days, Dave, I'm going to shoot some pictures of it so people can see it. I took a piece of gunny sack and I made it the size that I wanted. And then I took sheep's wool and I made a pad, and it was about 4 inches to 5 inches thick. I thought, boy, this is nice. I got it now. I'm gonna keep my mules back from getting sore. That was wrong. The synthetics, the perforated neoprene is the best way to go. Listen to the ads, what people say about their wool. They say it whisks away the moisture. Hear that? It takes away the moisture. Why do you want to take away what the good Lord put into that animal to keep cool, and you too, and to keep it lubricated? You want a lot of sweat more that mule sweats, the better underneath that pad. That is why I designed a perforated neoprene saddle pad, and then I designed the saddle pad to fit the donkey back, the donkey bone structure, which is on every mule, and of course, the donkeys. All right. So, are you riding a britchin? Are you riding a back cinch? You've already answered one of my questions in that you said you've had a saddle fitted. Folks, don't fall into that bunch of garbage. And that's what it is. Saddle fitting? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Listen, folks, that don't tell you what it looks like going up a mountain, down a mountain, across the canyons. It don't tell you that. You look back and you say, yep, that fits. Oh, this one here is better. Oh, no, I like this one better. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If we do that in January when that mule is fat and sitting around, we're going to have one fitting. Of course, what do saddle makers fit? Like everybody, all these saddle fitters, they fit muscle mass. Your mule can drop 100 pounds, folks, 100 pounds just in one weekend ride. Take your tape with you. Try it out. You can buy a tape that tells you how much weight. You'll see how much you lose. All right. So now what happens if we measure him in July? We're going to have a thinner, harder mule. We have to have a saddle for January, and we have to have July. I've been on thousands of mules. Used packing, not just carrying your sandwich up the road. No, not just going on a nice trail ride or endurance. This is packing freight. This is working cows.
They heard you talking, and they're like, I want to talk to Steve about that a little bit more. Well, y'all keep listening. He's going to tell you more.
Yeah. Okay. So now I lost you there. How do I find you? I just keep on talking. I can hear you.
All right, go ahead. I'm right here. Can you see me too?
I can't see you. No.
Okay. Well, I'm here. Keep going.
Oh, there you are. You just returned. Okay. So now look, folks. When I started figuring this stuff out, I was trying to keep my animals from getting sore. When you pack freight up and down a mountain every day, or you pack freight just one day in the mountains, 18 miles, that is hard work. When you get a sore-backed animal and you're back in the mountains 20 miles, you have to find some way to shift all that other weights to another animal. All right? That's how I started understanding how a saddle is supposed to fit. And then I come upon my adjustable pack saddle. My bars floated. My arches would adjust to wider, narrower. And I started figuring out where to put the saddle correctly. Where to. These saddle folks, listen, they understand horses. Pretty fair. Fair. Get that? Why are we seeing all the white spots on mules and horses in behind the wither? Why? Because you're not putting the saddle on right. You're only tightening the front cinch. The majority of horse folks are so lazy, and that's my impression, okay? Yes, I'm being hard on you because you're being hard on these animals. You're the fault, not the saddle. When you only tighten the one cinch, that saddle cantilever is in the back. Where does it put pressure? Right here in behind the scapula. And I did it myself. I don't know how many horses I've sored over the years. Thinking, that's all right. That's all right. It just shows that I rode that horse. No. It shows that I didn't put the saddle on correctly, horse or mule. That's what it showed, okay? And now that I wanted to learn more about this mule, that's why I changed. The reason your saddle is moving around could be lots of reasons. Number one, the saddle probably don't fit. I can just take one look at it and tell you the different problems with it. Listen, folks, if the saddle is sewed up in the back and the skirting, it's not going to work on your mules, because that skirting, it needs to be spread apart like you'll see my saddles are, so it double on the spine. Don't mind, okay? Carry 3 front, right, left, rear. 3 billets, just long laps, because you're too busy to go to the other side. Yes, I'm being hard on you. I'm hard on me. I screwed up more animals than you can imagine, folks. And I am not happy with myself. But I have learned the past 25 years, if I do it like this, I am going to have a happy mule. Period. Plus that, I can let everybody else look back. Look at my mules. I don't have spots all over them because I took the time to place the saddle correctly, make the right saddle, and that's what I did. I had the adjustable pack saddle. The bars told me angle to put them on. When I had the adjustable pack saddle, the bars told me how wide or how narrow. That's why I come up with what I have now. Now, going back to this video, okay, ma'am, you are going to wear wool. Hey, Dave, find them the video. Find them the video of the demonstration with the 2 saddles. I mean, the saddle pads. And folks, you can see it. And you see this demonstration. You'll see this guy from California. His wife is there. His friend's there, and his friend is there. And he says, I want to keep my wool pad. Okay, let's do something. And folks, you see it. I don't orchestrate any of this stuff. When the time comes and there's a question, I'm going to take the teachable moment and I'm going to teach you. I'm going to lie to you. Now watch it. Watch the video. You'll see him put his wool pad down. You'll see him hold on to that wool pad and watch him push his saddle. Folks, wool against wool, it's slick. Okay? Now, watch then what happens when you put my pad. Now, this is just a little old conduit saddle stand. That's all it is. We're not cinching up nothing. Nothing. Watch it. Put my pad down that has the perforated neoprene, that has the Duracron on the top. Watch him put that saddle on there and watch him try to push that saddle off. He can't do it. It's like Velcro together. And there's some other guys out there that have taken videos, and you can see them climbing in the saddle, and they don't even have their cinches tight. The cinches just hanging, and watch them climb in the saddle. Yes. Folks, don't go with these saddle fitters. You know, I don't want to undercut them, but listen, folks, they're limited in their knowledge, extremely limited. They do not understand the mule. I've sat and listened to these guys at these expos. I've been expos all over the world, folks, and I've listened to them. They're all saying the same thing. All they're doing is repeating what they heard from somebody else about a mule or about a donkey. But look at every one of these horses. Look at the majority of horses out there, folks. Where do you see the dry spots? In behind the scapula, because you're not using the rear cinch. Now, on a mule, it is imperative that the back cinch is the tightest because it's straight up and down, and the front cinch is the loosest. Now, I just had a lady send me pictures, and I tell all of you all, let me help you. Send me pictures. Let me help you out. And her front cinch was too tight, and her cinches were too wide. One of the things I talk about in the videos, folks, is how imperative it is that you put your cinches close together. So, Dave, I'm being kind of rough on folks, but I've been rough on me. All right. Here's have that lady send me a picture of her mule all tacked up, and then send me a picture of her mule without it. Okay. And I'll be happy to help her out. If my saddle or not, I don't care. I want to help the mule, but I want to help the person understand that what she's doing is harming this mule. I just love it when people say, "Oh, Steve, you sure are rough." I'll tell you what, you want to screw up a mule, use the wrong equipment on it, use the wrong halter, use the wrong bit, and every one of you use mostly the wrong bits. You are. All right. The bit is extremely important. How you're adjusting it is extremely important. I'll get off of that, Dave. What else we got next?
We got more folks hanging out with us. And folks, thanks so much for coming and spending a little bit of time with us today. I'm in Houston today, coming to you live from my hotel room. Steve's still there in Arizona holding down the fort. So we still are Queen Valley representing. We've got Beth watching. So hello again, Beth. Karen is watching from Central Virginia, 42 degrees. We've got Jack watching from Johannesburg, 20 degrees and a foot of snow already. Hey, the captain is here, Richard Matthews. Good afternoon, Chaplain Steve and Chaplain Dave. There you go, Captain. Myra is watching from Southern California. We're hoping for rain this week, and I hope you get it. Trace is watching from Lowood, Queensland, Australia. Muddy and hot today, and whenever we get somebody watching us from overseas, we like to give a little bit of Dawn International. Thanks so much for joining us today, Trace. Good to have you here. CT is watching from Washington, 44 degrees. Lisa is watching from Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania, where it is cold with a tad of snow flying. Katie is watching from Kimberley, British Columbia, Canada. We've gone international again, 35 and sunny. David is watching, David O'Brien, and he's got a question. I have a 10-month-old Molly Mule. She's doing great on the come-along. She enters the trailer no problem. I wanted to see if there's anything specific I should do or should not do for her first trip. Thank you.
Okay, number one, folks, when you're trailering these animals, I personally don't tie them. You know, if they want to turn around and face out, okay. When I put them in the trailer and I'm going to go a long distance and I've got my dividers, I don't tie them up, especially my babies. My babies, I don't want them pulling back because already we got a problem in that we're going to be tying high. And if she pull back, we could have a problem with the spine and the shoulders. So we don't want to hurt that spine and shoulders. Now, you folks, he's doing it right, the come along hitch. Don't rely on the halter. Use that halter minimally. The halter is not completely a training tool. It has some things to be used as training with the come along hitch. I mean, with the surcingle and going around in circles and setting the nose and this sort of thing. But it is not the training tool that the come along hitch is. Teaching with training with the come along hitch. Now, it doesn't make any difference if the mule backs all the way out or if you turn around in the trailway. You're in control. If the mule goes out too, you did not have the timing to bump it to make the animal go as you want it to go. You'll see at the first that mule off. Can I take the next step? It was pretty interesting, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Moving right along. We've got Rebecca watching from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We've got, let's see, my internet is jumping up and down here. We've got Brady, Steve Brady, 35 degrees, cloudy, a little bit of snowy watching. Lisa watching from McEwen, Tennessee, 50 degrees and sunny. Eileen watching from Nebraska, 47 degrees today. Chad is watching from Ohio, 29 and cold. And Lisa asked the question, what should a person do if a mule or donkey lifts his leg as if he's going to kick you?
Put the come along hitch on and rip his nose off. Okay. Now he could be just lifting his leg because he's trying to shift. That's okay. But if he kicks you at you, and any of my clients tell me that it actually kicked a girl, they would put a blanket on and she had to have some stitches across her head. Listen, if a mule wants to kick you, he knows exactly the spot he wants to kick you. Okay. Get that in your mind. But if he just lifts his leg, that's okay. But if he lifts his leg and does a little cow kick, I'm going to put the come along hitch on. I'm going to be ready the next time, and I am going to rip his nose off. Always, 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 folks, have that come along hitch on that mule. They always make mistakes. So correct it when they think, and see, they think they're right. But in the human world, they're not. They're not allowed to kick at me. If a mule kicks at me, you're gonna watch me come unglued. Okay? I'm even gonna call him a horse.
Dun. That's Stand Up by Steve Edwards every Wednesday. Every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Next question that we've got here, let me bring that back up. This one came in over on Facebook. Our friend sends us a message, says, "Hi, I'm in need of desperate help for my son's Mini Mule that I have purchased. I found you on YouTube miraculously. I have trained horses but never mules. My son's Mini Mule is 5 and I broke to ride and pull. But I did not know that a mini pony saddle could not fit a mule. Luckily, he has never rode in it yet since it became cold. He is wanting to end up barrel racing him. For my son is also 5, and I just need help for a good saddle for him and any tips about feed, shoes, or no shoes. His hooves are small. Anything that can help me. Nobody in my area can teach me about mules. I live in Kentucky and can't spend thousands of dollars, but I will make do with what I can. I'm not sure if the little mule moves stiff due to bigger teenagers riding him before, and they would load this donkey by picking him up like a calf and putting him in the bed of a truck. His trust has come a long way, but still sensitive areas, his stomach, and gets kicky and nippy. I'm not sure where to start training with him. I'm a little scared I will mess this guy up and not make it safe for my son. He does well with him riding bareback, but will not go over a fast trot at all. Any comments here to help our friend, Steve?
Well, Dave, we have what, close to 400 YouTube
A lot.
programs there. Everything.
We've got a
500?
lot. Yeah, we've got a lot there.
Okay. Anyway, any of those videos, folks, sit and watch them. Mini Mule, Draft Mule, Riding Mule, whatever. These videos, just because you don't see the size that you want, everyone will be what you need to have for information to train on your mule. Everybody's mistake. I'm going to guarantee you, folks, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes you didn't even know. Here, this Mini Mule, you're wanting him for your 5-year-old son. Number one, I would never put a kid in a saddle with the stirrups so that they were riding stirrups. There's some horrible things I can tell you about when these little kids get hung up in the stirrups upside down on your animal. And I want you to get that picture in your mind because the rest of it can be pretty ugly. So going back to the saddle, your son's going to be growing. And unfortunately, you're right. These saddles are designed for horses. And I would hate to say to you, go ahead and purchase a 15-inch saddle and put bucking rows on it and then have your son ride that. The main thing is, folks, what I want to say to this person is don't put this kid in stirrups. Have your kid feel the mule and ride without stirrups. All of my kids, both my kids did. And they learn how to ride, learn how to feel the animal. And then when they can start setting correctly and guiding and stuff, yes, then they rode in stirrups. So your 5-year-old, you can use your pony saddle, but you got to have a breeching and you've got to have a rear cinch, and you'd probably do fine. Okay, but it's not the best thing. That saddle's still going to go forward. They're just not made correctly in order for you to work. So I would say get a bareback pad and have your son get one that's got a handle on it that you can hold on to it and let him just learn to walk. And when he's ready to trot, he'll have the confidence to do it.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Moving right along. We got Carolyn watching from Minnesota. Lisa says, I run barrels like that and people freak out. My girth is so loose. If saddle fits your horse, it should stay where you put it. Brady says, how long after your hip replacement till you started riding again, Steve?
It was probably about 8 to 10 months, something like that. I'd actually ride my Sportsman 500 quad that I could throw my leg over. So I was throwing my leg over. And then my bicycle, I was riding my off-road bike quite a bit. But the other thing that I did is I sat and on a saddle in the living room and watched TV that way. So in other words, folks, I didn't just climb on. I started preparing myself. And listen, if any of you are getting knee and hip replacements, number one, use the oxycodone that they're giving you. Believe me, folks, I tried toughing it out my first hip, thought I was really doing good, and come to find out I put the rest of my body under stress. And now that I've been doing this firefighting thing and doing EMS work, don't worry about that oxycodone. You'll get over it. Now, here's the next thing. Lots of stretching. Go to your therapist like they want you to and do that therapy. And you notice what I was doing? Yes, I would go to my therapist, but I was also doing other things that I knew would be preparing me for riding in the saddle. But it was the best thing I ever did was have my hips replaced. My left one, by the way, ended up being replaced 4 times. And my left one I went septic on it. And so I was really close to meeting my Lord.
Yeah, I remember that. Steve had sent me a message, and he was like, "Hey, I have to get one of my hips replaced again." I was like, "Really?" So I drove down to drove down to the hospital where you were staying. There was a spring training game going on outside, and we hung out for a little bit there while you were in the hospital. And fortunately, everything wound up going okay with the follow up surgery, and so we're real grateful for that. But yeah, that was a scary thing. So yeah, folks, if your doctors are prescribing things for you, there's a good reason for it. Of course, ask as many questions as you got, and we say that about the mules here. Ask whatever question you got. Like, information is the thing that is going to separate you from the reality that you're living in and the reality that you want to be living in for the future. So very good. Let's see here. Continuing along. Bill says, very pleased with my Queen Valley Mule Ranch pad. Perfect fit on my Molly, quality material and workmanship. Thank you so much, Bill. Julia says, I tuned in during finals on a specialty mule breeding operation from my animal science class. There we go. Hey, well, thanks for making a little bit of time for us. I appreciate you doing that. Bill says sharing to Mules of Ohio and Mules of Indiana. All right, Bill's branching out to the Mules of Indiana. He says it's clear and cold where he's watching from. Lisa says, you are one of the few people who can pronounce the name of my town. Good job with your phonics. Well, you know what? Hooked on phonics worked for me. Isabel is watching. Michelle from Quebec is watching. Snow and freezing rain. Donkey is walking slowly. Oh, I would be walking slowly too if it was snow and freezing rain out there. Matter of fact, some of the best athletes in the world, those football players out there, they're moving pretty slowly too when it's rain and freezing out there. So Nancy says it's 30 and chilly, Wheeling, West Virginia. Folks, if you are tuning in for the very first time, I just want to say welcome. I want to say we're glad that you're here hanging out a little bit with us. My name is Dave, and this is Steve Edwards. Every Wednesday we get together. I'm coming to you live from Houston. Steve's still in Arizona, coming to you live from Queen Valley. And every week we do it at this time where we answer any and every mule and donkey question that you've got. So if you got butterfly questions, we can't help you with that. If you got pig questions, we may be able to tell you what you should do when you cook the pig, but we can't really, oh, what you got?
I'm a pig trainer.
Are you a pig trainer too? Okay, so if you got pig questions, Steve will answer those pig questions.
Yes.
All
That's
right.
that. You put them on the barbecue and say, "Stay."
There you go. And that is Pigs 101. If you got flip flop questions, you can take those elsewhere. But if you got mule and donkey questions, bring them here. We'll make sure you get answered. So first thing we ask is that you share your name, where you're watching from, what the weather is like. We love people. People are created in God's image. People are special. People are unique. People are a blessing. It can be tough to love people sometimes, but we love that you are here and we want to get to know you. And so put your name, where you're watching from, what the weather is like. The second thing we ask is that you put in any and every mule and donkey question that you got in the comment section, and we'll get those answered. We want you to gain the trust of your animal, gain confidence in your training, and get results when you get out there and invest your time, because time is the one thing you will not be able to get back. So let's make the most of it. Third thing that we ask is that you share the broadcast. And it's very easy to do. If you're on YouTube, go ahead, click the like button on the video, and then click subscribe. That lets YouTube know this is worth sharing. And if you're on Facebook, you can go ahead and click the share button or just tag friends and family members in the comment section. So if you got those questions, get them in here now. We'll be hanging out for a few more minutes here. Lane is watching above freezing day here in Central Oregon. We are in a drought for weather. I'm currently using your series Colt starting to start a new mule. This information is so excellent for any mule. I have taken my riding mule back through this Colt starting series. My youngest mule started packing and now preparing to ride this mule. Is the Colt starting series a foundation for driving a 4-old mule, Steve?
Yes, it can be for you. As you see, there's lots of different things that I do in there for colt starting, especially there's 5 colts there. So you'll see me go at them a different way because of their nature. But yes, I've got some video on driving. It's driving donkeys, which would be the same thing as your mules. And I've also got some video on doing foundation training. But the biggest thing, folks, that we have when it comes down to all your mules, whether they're riding or whether they're driving, is they do not have respect for the bit. Okay? Really, really important. That's why you see me doing the come along work first. Then for the 6 months, very little halter. I don't rely on that halter at all. You watch me ride, I have no halter. My animals are hobble trained. Okay, going on. Then I use my surcingle with my rope halter, allow them to soften themselves. Listen to that, folks. Both the come along and the rope are on the nose. When you want a mule to have respect for your bit and build a good foundation from the nose, they understand this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is left, this is back up. They learn all of that from the nose. And the more you perfect your hands, the more you perfect them, the better communication you're going to have. Perfect. Now, I can't tell you how many times you guys have probably heard me say the story. I've taken my well-trained mules to my clinics, and I had people climb on them and say, okay, who can ride 20 years? And the hands fly up. Then people climb on those mules, and 20 minutes later, they look like they're not even trained. Not the mule's fault. My fault. Me, the rider. Me, the rider. Okay, so there you are. You bet. Anything you guys can do on the ground before you ride or drive is going to be handy. And you can watch this video. There's 5 colts in there. Every one of these, you'll see me working on the ground, the other person in the saddle, and you'll see what to do.
Yeah, the videos we get a lot of really great comments on the videos, both the stuff on the website and the stuff on the YouTube channel. Sometimes all it takes, we get a lot of folks who come to this show, who call Steve, who show up at expos, who really do have the patience and have the desire necessary to train their own animals, but what they lack is confidence.
Yes.
Confidence is such a huge part of being out there and becoming the herd leader. And for a lot of folks, just seeing somebody else do what it is you're supposed to do, that can instill all the confidence in the world. That's why we put the videos out there. And
Yeah.
then if that's not you and you feel like, well, gosh, I hate that other folks are able to watch and like I can't get confidence after watching. Well, that's why we want you to call us. That's why we want you to call Steve. That's why we want you to send pictures, take video, because we want to help you. Steve's, you call him retired, but he still keeps busy. He's just retired from the day in and the day out of the office, I guess you could say. But Steve's still active doing all this stuff, not because he has to, but because he wants to. He wants to get out there and he wants to help folks. And we're creating an incredible resource on YouTube that folks will be able to access long after we're done doing this show, whenever that day comes, but long after Steve's gone too. Folks will be able to tune in and take what he has learned and carry it on. So you can get out there, you can do it, you can make it happen. Watch the videos. Use that as an example, and then call us and message us when you got a question. Let's see here. Lisa says, I just bought the ground foundation kit. I already have the come along, but I can use it on another animal at ears acres. That's what we like to hear right there. Get them all accustomed to it. Yeah, I guess we
Yep.
don't advise it, but I was like, you could go ahead. You could put one come along rope on each one, and you could double up your training time. Don't do that, folks. Focus on one at a time. But you could, I guess. Lisa says, I'm asking for a saddle pad for my birthday this year. That is the type of request we like to hear. She also says, what are your thoughts on those who say that using a bit is cruel and inhumane? I've noticed a trend in some of the horse circles in terms of getting on people who use bits. Now, first, I'll tell you, we do not get any shortage of folks watching our videos who, love them. They've never spent time around equine. They look at the animal and they think an animal is an animal. This cat that's sitting right next to me as I'm watching YouTube is just like that mule right there. And so that's not true. And treating them as such is going to be abuse. So we talk about abuse here. Steve, why don't you go ahead and talk about, number one, what you say to folks who say it's cruel and inhumane to use a bit. And then number two, any thoughts you have on just the overall abuse commentary from a pocket of folks who may not spend time with the animals?
Okay, abuse number one. You're overfeeding your livestock. Yeah. Overfeeding. Not feeding correctly. I love it. I had a lady today. She called me and she was really interested in what type of vitamins, what type of minerals. She wanted her mule to have the best. Okay. So there again, what did I tell her to do? Get a hair follicle sample, get a blood test sample, and find out exactly what the mule needs. Don't just throw a bunch of vitamins and minerals to them. When I take my vitamins and minerals, my doctor, who is a naturalist, okay, he says, Steve, your body needs this one, this one, this one, and this one. Don't use the others. That's what I do. So I do that. Okay. Now, going back to your mule and donkey, yeah, and your horses, you're overfeeding them and you're under exercising them. Now, it's the same thing with us. Okay. Just look at Fat Boy here. Okay. Here's what I got to tell you. I'm 5'6", 205 pounds, and I should be 180 pounds at the fattest side, and I'm not. Why? Because I overgrazed. Okay. Smorgasbord, stuff like that. Candy when it's out, cookies when it's out. You all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. All right. So your number one abuse, overfeeding. Number two, under exercising. Yeah. You're turning them out into a pasture and just letting them free feed. That is not exercising, folks. That's getting them way too much feed, way too much. Next thing is you're not doing the vet work like it needs to be done. Every spring you should be vetting. Every spring you should be doing your dental work. Every spring you should have a chiropractor come out and readjust them. Here's the next part. You're not shoeing. And when they are being shod, they're shod incorrect. Oh, my mule don't need shoes because he's got hard feet. No, he don't. He's got the worst foot in the world. That's got the donkey foot on it. Every one of them's got the donkey foot. And that's the worst equine foot you can get. Why? Because it contracts. It's small. And what it does is that frog is trying to put blood up and down the leg, and it can't do it because the back of the branches are in, putting pressure on the frog, which doesn't allow it to pump blood up and down the leg. So abuse, I can keep on going. You've got the wrong halters on. Your halter is on the bone rather than correct down on the nose where it shuts off the wind, a soft spot. You've got your halters incorrect where you're doing a lot of damage to your nerves underneath here. If you're using a chain, you're doing a lot of damage there. Okay, next thing, abuse, especially you horse riders, you only have 1 cinch. 1 cinch. So what's that saddle doing? Cantilevering off of that, right in behind the scapula, right in behind the wither. Where are your white spots on your horses? White spots are in behind the scapula. Why? Because you're too lazy to use a back cinch. You worry he's going to buck. That saddle was designed to have both cinches so that you can evenly distribute the weight across that mule, the horse, your donkey's back. You want another abuse? Treeless saddles. Folks, you're putting pressure right where it don't need to be, right in the front. All you have is a pommel there. And you're putting pressure upon that area, and you're restricting that area, and you're killing the hair follicles in that horse, mule body, and not using a rear cinch. And then if you are using a rear cinch, guess what? You're taking that part of the cantle and you're pushing down on top of kidneys. Kidneys already are really easy to disturb, really easy to get acetaria, okay? Because that's where we set, right on top of kidneys, okay? And I can keep on going, Dave. I mean, doggone it, you know. You want some more abuse? Here goes. Here, let me give you one last one. And this is one of my favorites. You get done riding, you pull your horse in there, you put your mule up there, and you pull the saddle off. You brush him down a little bit, and then you turn him loose into a stable or a corral or something like that before he cools down. Yeah, before he cools down. He should go on a hot walker, or he should stand there, and you shouldn't pull the saddle off right away. No. Leave the saddle on for a while. Let that animal understand that that's just as good a place as it is in a corral to stand. Saddle, nothing wrong with that. And I can go on, Dave. I've been an abusive guy all my life. You know, I used to throw him on the ground and beat him with a chain. You know, I didn't think it was abuse because the rest of my cowboy buddies did that. But now I'll give you abuse. There's a bunch of them right there I threw out.
Yeah, the animals are different. Like I said, they're not. It's not a cat. It's not a dog. You treat it like a cat. You treat it like a dog. You may feel like you're not hurting them, but that's when they wind up hurting you. And you know what? We believe that we've got dominion over these animals, but that we also have a responsibility to them. And so one of the things that we can do best for anything else is to understand the animal, understand how to communicate. And yeah, it may be a little bit painful here or there for them, but it's for the point of making sure that you don't wind up getting into the hospital yourself for something that could have been easily prevented. It's never safe, but there is always best practice. Steve, we do have a drawing here. Let's make sure I got all of our questions, and then we'll see here. Folks, hang out because we're going to ask a question, and we're gonna get a bridle out to somebody here in the next couple minutes. Let's see. Julia says, Steve, I need to do a professional interview with someone in the mule industry for my final. I just prayed before I got on my computer, and you popped up on my screen. So all that being said, what is the largest biosecurity issue on your ranch? Is there a difference in how mules should be fed in contrast to horses? How many mules do you run on your ranch? How many do you train and sell per month? Thank you for helping me with my finals. I would love to come tour your facilities if you have time.
Yes,
I love
Steve.
how
Good
much you
boy.
love Jesus. Wish I had met you when I was in the packing state. Okay, Julia, here's what I'm going to say. Give Steve a call, 602 999 6853. Give Steve a call, 602 999 6853, and he'll spend some time with you on the phone to make sure you got the answers you need for your finals. What you are doing for the mule and donkey community, it's going to be huge. It's going to be so helpful to so many people, and we want to make sure you get the best information you can so you can write your paper. If you get Steve's voicemail, leave him a message and he will call you back. Thank you for thinking of us, Julia. It's good to have you here. Tracy's watching from Melville, Saskatchewan. Hey, all right, we got international. Jerry is watching from Indiana. Got in late. Glad to see you guys. We started a little bit late today here, Jerry, so no judgment. Carla says, hey, guys, great to see you. Just about freezing here. Windy and fresh snow. Northern British Columbia, Canada. International again. Our Canadian friends are strong today. We love it. Leah is watching. I'm at work. We'll definitely come back for this from Horse Cave, Kentucky. Leah, awesome. I'm so glad. Leah's the one who asked a message earlier on from Facebook, and she didn't send me an email, so I didn't know how to reply back to her. And then I found her message on Facebook and was able to reply. Lisa says, thank you for the detailed answer. Linda says, I'm so late. I missed the time. Linda, you never miss us because you can go back and watch the replay. You've watched so much now, Linda. You know what Steve's going to say anyways. Judy is watching from Texas. Had to finish feeding before dark. Hate the time change. You and the rest of the United States. Linda says, please run over a little bit. I have a question and I want to share about abuse. Well, go ahead and say it real quick, Linda, and we'll get to it. Steve, let's go ahead and do the drawing for the headstall. Let's do a drawing for the headstall here. What is the question that we want to ask? And folks, the way this goes, I've got a little comment section up here. And the person who answers the question first in my comment section is the person who wins. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, this is really important. What is the name of my dog?
What is the name of Steve Edwards' dog?
What's that?
All right, let's see here. Tammy just tuned in. Let's see if Tammy knows.
Okay, Jess, he just told you.
There he goes.
Okay, that'll do.
Let's see. We're waiting. Ooh, the suspense is killing me. I'm excited to see. Tammy's here, Linda's here,
What's your
Judy's
name, Jess?
here, Lisa's here,
What's your
Leah's
name?
here, Carla's here. Who's gonna get? Who's gonna get it? Let's see. Julia says Roe. Laura, it's you. Laura says Jess. Good job, Laura. Way to go. Laura, here's what I want you to do. We're going to send you a Queen Valley Mule Ranch headstall. I want you to send an email to support@muleranch.com, and I want you to include what size you want. What size are they, Steve? Regular and large?
Yeah, they're regular and large. Yeah.
Regular and large, if you want a regular and large, and then send me the address that you want us to ship it to. I've been going back and forth with someone from our first week, and I'm missing the address or the size or something like that, Steve. That's why I haven't gotten to you. I'm waiting to get the size or something. But send us an email, support@muleranch.com, with the size that you want, regular or large, and the shipping address, and we'll get it taken care of. Carla says Sammy. No, that would be a good name though. Myra says R. You're a pirate?
What's your name?
It's a pirate dog. Arr.
Okay, there it is.
Here you go, Steve. What's the pirate? What's a pirate's
R.
favorite letter of the alphabet? R. Pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet is R. Let's see. Laura says, yay, thanks. You got it. All right, folks, that's it for this week. Sorry for being a couple minutes late. I was hustling in from traffic. You should have seen me. I've never run so fast in my life. My kids would have gotten a kick out of it. They would have loved to see me move and shake like that. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Steve, anything you want to say before we're all done here?
No, that's basically it. You're coming up on the reason for the season. There's only one reason.
That's right.
And we're looking forward to the Christmas that I like to spend time. We're going to have a party tomorrow with a lot of folks in my home group. We have a prayer and Bible study in my home group and from the church, and It's going to be a lot of fun there too. My wife has been decorating the house for a week now.
That's great. I got my house all decorated too. It looks good. I'm excited to get home to my boys. We're gonna go out Christmas light looking. We love doing that every year. It's so much fun. There's
Yep.
one street it's not in our neighborhood. It's over in Chandler, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from us. Every year on Christmas Eve, they close off the street. All the neighbors come out. And people come from all over to go through. All the neighbors come out. They put food and all sorts of great stuff. There's charities out there collecting gifts. Folks are taking donations to give away money to different places. And then they do. They got the Clydesdales doing sleigh rides in Arizona. Would you believe it? It's fun. We go there every year. But that is true, folks. There is only one reason why Christmas is a time that we celebrate. There might have been a lot of, but there is one central reason, and that is the reason that the Creator chose to become the created. He chose to exit timelessness and enter into time. Chose to exit eternity and enter into time bound and become subject to all of the things that we became subject to, and did it willingly, and did it so that we didn't have to do anything but believe. And that's the only, as far as I know, that's the only faith deity where the Creator became the created, and you don't have to earn it. You just have to accept it, and that's it. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask me or Steve. And if you're still figuring things out, you know what? We are glad that you're here hanging out with us too, and you are always welcome, and we're happy to have you a part of the community. Steve, thanks so much. We'll talk to everybody soon. Merry Christmas. Let's see,
Keep
whoever.
sending the cards, folks. Keep sending the cards.
Send the cards in. Get the Mule Ranch address at the bottom of the Mule Ranch website. Send those in there. Laura, send me a message. Support@muleranch.com. Take care, everybody.